Next we have Eugene Lundley, and unfortunately Eugene's not able to be here either, but he received his Bachelor's of Science in Chemical Engineering in 1943, and you can read about that in the program. Next we have Joseph Rummel. In 1945, Joe Rummel decided to attend the University of Idaho. Within a few months of starting school, he was drafted into the Navy. He tested high in the Eddy test for electronics, radio, and radar, and was sent to Navy Class A Electronic Service School for 15 months. This was at Great Lakes, Illinois, Ward Island, Texas, and Memphis, Tennessee. In 1948, Joe returned to the U of I and graduated in 1952 with 2 degrees. A BS in mining engineering and a BS in metallurgical engineering. Joe's mining career began at U.S. Vanadium Corporation's Pine Creek tungsten operations, known as the Mine in the Sky, at 13,000 feet in the Sierras outside of Bishop, California. That's pretty high. In 1952, Joe secured a job in Nevada at Anaconda's open pit copper mine. And after 2 years, he took a position with Mountain States Telephone Company in Boise, Idaho, where he was a transportation and protection engineer for the open wire systems in the mid-1950s. He became the operator of several radio telephone experiments that showed limited use for existing equipment, but big opportunities if it could be integrated into a wide coverage area. The cell phones of today were the logical outcome of those early experiments. So you're the one I have to blame for all the kids walking around and doing this. Joe switched to Morrison Knudsen Construction Company for a short time, and then accepted a position with Alcoa in Wenatchee, Washington, where he lives today, as a process engineer in the smelting operations. He began with the anode plant. The carbon baking furnaces had refractory flues that had been built in place, and this was the way it had been done for years. Joe saw a huge advantage that by building the flues at a remote place, it would be a prefabricated flue that could be dropped in place, saving labor and furnace productivity. His invention worked, and Alcoa is still using that concept today, fabricating their flues at a refractory company. Next, he developed the first 30 to 50 pound interlocking open mold ingot that made much more secure bundle or package for shipping. Joe also came up with the concept of direct chill continuous cast ingot that was cleaner and higher quality than competition. The plant mechanical engineer and Joe developed a submerged pour system for casting 30 and 50 pound open mold ingots that's still in use today. Joe worked at Wenatchee for 16 years and then transferred to Point Comfort, Texas as ingot plant superintendent. They were casting 36,000 pound aluminum ingots for rolling into rigid container sheets by the beverage company. After 3 years and many productivity improvements, Joe was promoted to a job in North Carolina. In North Carolina, the North Carolina ingot plant made a lot of products, but the biggest challenge was to get the new technology of Hunter Douglas cast sheet productivity to be competitive with other methods of casting ingots. Joe saw another opportunity and installed statistical process control into the casting process. His concept was to have the casting operators make their own measurements and tweak the process to make the rolling cast sheet have the highest quality standards in the industry. Well, the SPC worked very well, and the operators were doing all their process adjustments with no direction from technicians or from supervision. They became the preferred supplier for the foil rolling plant in Lebanon, Pennsylvania. And Joe's last challenge at North Carolina was creating a shipping department with an autonomous workforce which made all the decisions on shipping orders, timing, crew size, and so forth without any supervision. So Joe was very good at working himself out of a job and getting other people to do his work. I love that, Joe. That was great. So would you mind coming to the podium? Thank you.
off the bat, I want to say I was a very few engineer, and I'm very impressed with the remarks I've heard from these people before me. I'm really impressed, and most of the work I did was just doing things for they need something to have it done, and then I'd look at it and think about it, and I met some challenges that way. They helped out the Alcoa organization, and they gave me a little bit of notoriety. I finally got some promotions. One of the things that I wanted to say is that I found out something that my father taught me a long time ago, and he said, if you want to know something about what's going on in the process, go out and ask the people who are doing the process. And that was a key in my life, was to finding out, going out and talking to them and asking them, what do you think we need to do? Where do we need to put the emergency stop valve and things like that? And that was a great help, because before, some of us engineers had designed things in an office, and then we would send it out, and it would be very unethical or not unpractical to try and have the guy get to it. So listening to people was one of the fortes that I had, and was finding a way to do the job better. I think one of the things I might mention, and I will make it short, I came here to the University of Idaho because my brother was going to school here in forestry, and I had seen the school when I was working in northern Idaho as a young person, and I just decided I want to go there. Looks like a great place. And the University of Idaho is an absolutely great place. It was great when I was here. It started in 45, came back in 48, and it was great. Unfortunately, when I was in 1949, when I was a smoke jumper, because I had some forestry background, I saw that there was an awful lot of unemployed foresters. And so I went around to all the deans. I went to the Dignity School of Engineering and the School of Mining and to every school. And I said, I came here to get an education, and when I get out of here, I want a job. And I'll tell you one thing that was rather unique. Most of them were not very encouraging, because 49 was not a great year. But I went over and I talked to Dean Farrenwall, and he said, Joe, if you want to come to school here and go into the mining engineering or metallurgical engineering, he said, I'll guarantee you a job when you get out of here. And if you don't have a job, I'll hire you at a competitive wage. I said, sign me up. And I've been an engineer. Engineering is one of the great fields that one of the greatest things I've ever done, because I think everybody I've heard here talks about you did something to improve the system and make life better for people that use it, either in the process or products, and the productivity and things you do. Also quality. And so it's been a great meeting, and I'm very impressed with that expo I saw today. I walked around, and I had my wife with me there, and we were standing, and I didn't even know what they were talking about. I had no clue about some of these things, but it shows that the advancements are fantastic, and this country's got a lot of opportunity. And I want to tell you this: this country is a great place. It's been great to me, and red, white, and blue runs through my veins.